Well, hello again. I'm struggling to figure out a niche for this channel because I'm just like all over the place with my hobbies and my interests. But I kind of really want to talk about the current political climate in America, where I live. And I know a lot of other people are talking about it, but I feel like with the way that the current administration is trying to suppress criticism by stuff like canceling Stephen Colbert, by suing news outlets that say anything critical of Trump and his administration. The point of democracy and a free country is that you're allowed to criticize your government. That's allowed. That's encouraged. And when we no longer have that, we are fucked. So I feel like the more of us that are on the right side of history can get on the internet and speak about these things, the better, because he cannot suppress everybody. That's impossible. And also, fascism will eventually fail because it hurts every single person under it. And it might take a while to get to you. If you voted for this, it might take a while to get to you. But fascism always fails because there comes a point when it reaches every single citizen. And then they start to think, well, shit, this sucks. I don't like this. And that's when everybody comes together. It might take 2 years. It might take 5. It might take 10. It might take 20 years. But it will eventually fail because at some point, every single citizen that lives under fascism is going to be affected. I know this because I read books. I read books. I don't just Google search things and look at the first few things that pop up. I don't rely on Wikipedia. I don't rely on ChatGPT. I search out books from my local library. And it takes a lot to publish a book. It takes a lot more to publish a book than it does to make a video on YouTube or to post something on a website or a blog. And so I trust books more than I trust anything that I find on the internet. I'm not saying that I don't use the internet to find information. I do. But I always look at it through a critical eye. And even books, too. I look at books through a critical eye. Whenever I hear something, I'm like, wow, is that true? And I go try to find more information about it. And I think that's what the people in America that voted for this are lacking. They don't question things. They hear stuff being said and they think it's true. I'll give you an example. I don't typically talk to my neighbors ever since our COVID isolation and ever since Trump became president again. I just don't know who I can trust. So I just don't talk to people, which is also bad. We need to build community. But I did go and talk to my neighbor one time down the street, and we were just talking, and all of a sudden they said something about how, I think it's because I brought up because I was a teacher, but they brought up how the public schools are doing transgender surgeries on the kids. And I was like, where did you hear that? Did you call the school and millennials use this for calling. Did you call the school and ask if that's true? Did you step foot inside the school and ask anybody if that was true? You know what else you can do if you're worried about what's happening in public schools? You can sign up to be a substitute teacher. In Oregon, you do not need any credentials to be a substitute teacher. You do a background check, you go through a little bit of training, and that's it. That is it. It used to be where you needed a teaching license to be a substitute teacher. After COVID, they were so desperate, they took that away. You do not need anything to be a substitute teacher. If you are worried about what is happening in school because of something you heard on whatever news outlet it is, go be a substitute teacher. Go sign up. Go ask the kids what's happening in the school. Ask them. Ask them. Because when I was teaching last year, I did not ever talk about anything about LGBTQ, transgender. I did not talk about anything about that stuff with the kids. They came to me. They came to me and said, hey, can you use this name instead for me? And I was like, sure, no problem. Because guess what? Kids know themselves better than you think they do. And a lot of kids have nicknames, or maybe they go by their middle name. I mean, if you have a kid named William and he says, call me Billy, you're gonna fucking do it. It's fucking just respectful. Like, sorry, I get really worked up and I start dropping a lot of F-bombs, but like, nobody is saying, hey, you're a girl and now I'm going to call you Joe instead of Jill or whatever. Like, whatever it is. The kids are coming to the adults and saying, this is how I feel, this is how I want to be addressed. And we do it. That's respectful. And when you're a kid, it's time to explore who you are. It's time to explore different fashion choices. I mean, I wore a lot of dresses. I'm kind of ripping this sweatshirt. I wore a lot of dresses and like feminine stuff when I was a kid because that's what my parents bought for me. So, like, this idea of, oh, the adults, the LGBTQ, the rainbow flags, the trans people, they're grooming children. It's not true. The kids are coming to us because they're seeing that there are people out there in the world that are living lives that are not centered around looking a particular way or fitting into a particular idea. And also, the attack on transgender people right now, they are like less than 2% of the whole country's population. And you can look up those numbers. And so to say that they are the problem and they are grooming children and they're doing this and that, it's not true. It's just that that's what this current administration wants you to believe, and people are believing it, unfortunately. But Jewish people were also like less than, I don't remember the number, but less than 2% or 3% of the population, like a really small number. But they blew it up to create fear in people. And anytime people start saying anything about transgender people, I ask them, how many transgender people do you know in person? And usually they say 0. And I say, well, then how are they affecting you in your day-to-day life? What's the problem? If you don't know anybody that's transgender, why are you so affected by this? And I can tell you that I know at least 5 transgender people, and this is not really something that you can tell just by looking at somebody. They have to tell you. They have to tell you that they're transgender. So if you say you don't know any transgender people, you're either not a safe person and they won't tell you, or it's such a small percentage of the population that it's not a problem. Like, I don't understand. Also, this whole bathroom thing. I have 2 bathrooms in my house. Both me and my male partner use the bathroom. Everybody has a gender neutral bathroom in their house. That bathroom might have tampons. That bathroom might have condoms. That bathroom might have makeup. That bathroom might have other feminine or masculine things. It's gender neutral. And so it's crazy to me when people are saying, oh, men are dressing up like women so they can get into the women's restroom. No, they are not. I don't know any man that would put on a dress just to go harass other women. They do that for free. They do that no matter what. Men walk into women's bathrooms and put little cameras in the toilet. I've read about this happening at Starbucks. They walk into the bathroom and put little cameras in the toilet, and then they're caught later. Men do not need to dress like women to abuse women. They do that anyway. I get catcalled when I am 14 years old by a man that is masculine. He's not dressed like a woman. He's not approaching me after he's spent a whole hour putting on a full beat of makeup. No. Men are abusing women no matter what because they're free to do so. We don't punish them for that. So to punish transgender people is crazy to me. Also, how the fuck do you know that somebody's transgender by looking at them? This is how I dress normally. How do you know? If I've got my hat on and I walk into the women's restroom, what would you like me to do to prove to you that I'm a woman? You want me to drop my pants? Like, this whole idea is so ridiculous. Sometimes I wear a dress and sometimes I wear this. I mostly wear this because I'm fucking lazy and I'm autistic and I hate tight clothing and I have sensory issues. How do you know who's a man and who's a woman? And that's the thing, like, when you start policing the way that people express themselves, it's over. It's fucking over. I had thought my entire life that I had to look like a girl. I had long hair, which I fucking hated washing because I do not like wet hair on my back because I'm fucking autistic and I hate the feeling and sensory overload of wet hair on my back. I hated washing my hair. I would put it up in a ponytail all the time. Then I turned 40 this year. And I was like, you know what? I don't even like long hair on me. I don't like it. I was conditioned to think that I was supposed to have long hair because I'm a woman. Then I cut it all off when I turned 40. And it has been the best decision I have ever made. So you're talking about policing the way that people look. So does my short hair make me look less feminine? Does my clothes, like, I do not understand. And I don't want this channel to be where I just bash men or whatever. And I don't want to be like too controversial, but I'm going to tell you that the most dangerous person I have ever encountered in my life has been a white man. And I can tell you that every single woman, if you ask them, what would you describe as the most uncomfortable or dangerous interaction you've ever had with a man? And it will almost always be a white man. And that whole thing that they used to talk about like a little while ago about the man versus bear, well, guess what? Less than 5 people are killed by a bear on average every year. My first encounter with a dangerous white man was with my half-brother when I was 5 or 6 years old. He molested me in the bedroom of our apartment with our parents right on the other side of the door, sitting in the living room. So this attack on trans people is basically just to deflect how white men abuse women. These men are not trans people that abuse women. They are priests, they are brothers, they are fathers, they are cousins, uncles, friends of women. And they do not have to dress up any particular way because they are in positions that we are supposed to be able to trust. So it pisses me off also when people say not all men, because how am I supposed to know? How was I supposed to know that my half-brother couldn't be trusted when I was 5, 6 years old? So yeah, trans people are not your problem. And the argument of not all men is also invalid, because how am I supposed to know? How are we supposed to know that we can't trust our father or our brother or our cousin or a friend or our uncle? So it's ridiculous that this is an argument that they're using. It's fear-mongering. If you look at how many people are killed by bears, it's less than 5 on average per year in this country. If you look at how many men kill people, it's going to be 500 or more every year. So men who get defensive that you would choose the bear, know that it's because they're dangerous and they just don't want to admit it. And they go on the defense. Anyway, I don't want this channel to be just like man bashing because, like I said, I'm in a relationship with a white straight man. But it has been my lived experience that men do not need to dress like a woman to abuse women. This is all just fear-mongering. This is what fascism does. It picks a small group of marginalized people and it attacks them and makes everybody scared of them. My neighbors down the street cannot even tell me one person that they've ever met that they know for a fact is trans. So to say that the schools are doing transgender surgeries on children, but you can't tell me one person you've ever met in your life that's actually trans, like, what are we doing here? I do not understand. Anyway, I feel like we all need to make these videos on the internet because the more people speak out and post it publicly is beneficial for everybody, because we can't just keep going like this. It is fucking scary. And everybody else in all the other countries that are not dictatorships are like, holy fucking shit, look at America. That is fucking scary what's happening. Yeah, it is. Anyway, thanks for coming to my TED Talk.